4. Good morning. How are you doing? So I want to answer a question for you. Somebody was really complaining yesterday about the things that I put out here. So I've decided that I'll do a spin. I'm currently in a place. I'm trying to grab some stuff for breakfast. So how do Africans live? Well, this is not something I've staged. This is what some people do for breakfast. People come here into places like this to find the very things that you buy in the places that you go to eat in the same way. I'm very sure this is like any bakery shop in any corner where you can go and you can buy, and yeah, the things you can buy are exactly the same sort of things you can buy, right? Yeah. If you want to, it's 10 a.m., almost going 10. Whatever pastries you have for breakfast, you can have. But let me show you the time I am having. I is buying some of these. What is this? Why are you only showing rural food? Rural food is healthy, so I like it, just so we are clear. But in order not to skew people and your perceptions, I thought I'll do this. So I am doing a breakfast stint with my mom, and I am selecting from here. I got some spring rolls and I got some meat pie, and it's hot. I wish you could see the temperature. It is fresh, it is hot, it is delicious, and it's right here. This is not even in the national capital. I don't come from the national capital. I've always told you guys I'm from the hinterlands. It's my hinterland. If you want to have the things that you have for your meals, you can. I choose not to. Good morning, how are you doing? I hope you're well. Mepra had the activity. How many hours? And a mepra. How many hours? One can I make 7 mepra, everyone a mepra near starting your arrangements. For the way, she never come my payment. My try me like is a 1 crown. Goodness. Bo, maybe I'm not too shop in. So yeah, I know sometimes you have to do an act of responsibility. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do an act of responsibility. Don't know what you guys read into situations, you know. Many abriwa bitia wunya bia na de abreme why more disposable plate or me dada mo beba me bi ana mama me me more disposable plate wo ha na me de me mind na abriwa na me na me pe me bi ana man bi hey sister then I am say yo if you why but that's it. Okay, now some more glasses and one. Why? That's it. All right, let's do this. Receipt. Manju, me party a receipt. Okay. Good morning. Let me take my time. So I wanted to do a brunch date with my mom. It's a hotel. This is one of the oldest ones here. Actually, it's been here for a long time. I am at Usvet Hotel in Sunyani. They are not open, which is how I like it. I like the peace and quiet when there aren't a lot of people around. That's what I want to do. And this is my date. Say good morning, date. Good morning, date. Good morning. This is my date. My date and I are here for foolishness and for serious conversations. I want to talk to this girl. I want to get her perspective on a lot of things. So I thought we'd do a brunch meal and then we can sit. So if you happen to be around, those of you who know the place and would like to come say hi, that is my announcement. I'm going to be sat here for majority of the morning. recording, talking, chilling, me and this girl, feel free to come and see us. But yeah, apparently I was not doing responsible sharing of information, so here is my act of responsibility. If you feel like checking these places out, feel free to do so. I'm not advertising for anybody because nobody's paying me for any ad, but I'm telling you that I don't know the Africa a lot of you think exists at the moment. The Africa a lot of you have in mind is a very interesting Africa, but it's not actually representative. They have, so this, when it's busy, you can see the shawarma thing, you can see the rotisserie. I can envisage that people come here to watch sports if they do want to, and those of us who have no agenda in life. Good morning. A glass in the wenyabi and a refi. Wenyabi. Okonomi ni glass and one straw back. Why? Medasi. Hold on. Hi Kingsley, how are you doing? Yes, thank you. Yes, sugar. I hope say you're not correct. You're not correct, yeah, then we are cool. My date and I, we is going to eat whatever nonsense we feel like eating, not because it is the healthiest of things. Me and this girl, she wants to know what it is. Find out what is it. I am reliving my youth. This is what she used to do with me when we were kids. She'd take you to, we just drove by the place actually, to Catering Rest House. Do you remember? We would get spring rolls from Catering Rest House. And it's a thing here. I know it's not a thing in most other places, but here it is a thing that you do most of these things and you get yourself a shito. It's a very specialty Ghanaian sauce. That's the shito. She says, that's the shito. That's the shito. We are going to cut our teeth. What I'm doing is actually full circle on life. Some time ago, it used to be her who would bring me and give me these treats. And I would be over the moon to enjoy some of these treats. And so to be able to flick around and bring her for these treats is amazing. Amazing. I don't know. Should I move the table closer or should I move you closer? Are you sure? That's what makes me think that these ones may have been better. Those tables. Because we are eating. Yeah. Let's do that. If we want to sit and be comfy to eat, that might be better. Let me figure out. I think this might be better. This might be private. Hey everyone, good morning. Good morning. I'm answering your question. Amma, what does Africa look like? There you go. Does that answer your question? I've told you I don't curate, so this is not an edited video. This is fly on the wall. You can see exactly what I see when I see it. We are here very early on a Saturday morning before the establishment has actually kicked off. They are still tidying, and my mom does not know how to sit and rest and be old. She does not know how to sit, rest, and be old. It's fine. It's okay. Come, let's go. I want her to sit, relax, enjoy, and be old. No, not her. Look at her. She's grabbed all the things so that she can make herself uncomfortable for no reason other than she is a busybody. But this is my own busybody. This is my girl. My girl. So hopefully I'm answering your questions. Hopefully you are getting to see Apparently, the Africa that I am not showing you. When I'm here, I'm home. I spend time with my people. And amen. You know, the only thing that is missing from this would be a good cappuccino. I'll have to ask. Even if I couldn't have a cappuccino and I had a tea, I have to ask the girls and see. Me and the girl are chilled and relaxed. The shito is nice. It's not exactly innocent, but it's not too sugary. I think it's doable. I need to find out if I can have a tea. I want to know if I can have a tea or a coffee. Tea or coffee. It would be lovely. Idea. Muye tea and a coffee or I mean a few. Okay. So I'm on a date with my girl. We are tired of being healthy and being sensible. We do not want to stay in our house. We want to come and chase men. Oh boys, which one do you want? Both?
None.
Ah. What do you mean none? This one, I got one boyfriend in the car that brought us. She stole him. Such a shame. I mean, imagine my self-esteem and the hit it has taken this morning when this girl takes your boyfriend from you. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I've always wanted to talk to my mom. A lot of you have asked me loads of questions intended for my mom, and I don't intend to answer for my mom. Which option do I have? Yes. Can I have a cappuccino? No, just me. So, I have questions from a few people who wanted to know answers to things that I don't have answers to. So, I wanted to raise them with you. My friend wants to know how on earth you managed to raise 2 girls and you have 2 doctors out of those 2 girls. She wants to know what the secret ingredient is, what the magic formula is. And considering I've not even raised 1 kid to even finish any type of university course, I don't qualify to answer. So I thought I will give you the horse and she can answer for herself. So good morning, horse.
To answer your question,
Yes, ma'am.
it takes a lot of determination
It does.
and sacrifices
Mm-hmm.
to be able to raise 2 beautiful ladies to become 2 beautiful doctors.
Hey. Determination. Explain that to me.
If you are determined to raise 2 sensible daughters, you will have to sacrifice a lot of things on your own behalf.
Please explain. Slow down. What sort of things do you sacrifice?
I could have decided to ignore the children and to develop myself. Because in my childhood I wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
So I could have neglected the children and developed myself to be a doctor.
Okay.
And after getting the doctor, what next?
Oh, you could have had your ambitions though.
And what next?
Well, I don't know. When the children became what they became, what next?
You only have to put your hands on your head and be crying all the time. Awo mommy, when you are why?
Well, you have to speak English because most of them, the one who actually is interested in this question does not speak Twi. So take your time so that they can understand. I want her to really understand. She's really been hassling me about that one. I want to speak to your mom. I want to speak to your mom. I want your mom to answer these questions. So I've got the questions and I want to put them to you. So you could have been a doctor. You chose not to do it. So your children can do it. Explain it to me. But it's a risky tactic though. What if your children didn't do it?
I don't know if you have raised a puppy before. Raising a puppy, it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not only the feeding and the space that we provide it, but you have to nurture it, direct it. So it is with raising children. You have to give them direction of where to go in life. If you don't do that and you leave everything just like that, they will also grow up just like that. Just like if you leave the puppy just like that, the puppy will grow to become a real dog and start barking. But the next thing you see is that your dog has gone to bite somebody. And you may be called on to go and answer or to go and treat a dog bite. So it is with bringing up children. If you sacrifice enough and you direct your attention to what you want them to do, you give them the right direction, and most importantly, you are expected to be a role model to your children. As they grow, they may not intentionally decide to be like you, but they will look at the way you do things and decide to also do things that will reflect your way of life.
That was your game always, wasn't it? That was you think it was something, well, actually, when I was very young, I did not figure it out. I probably figured out your game in my teenage. This one is so manipulative. I don't think a lot of people understood that thing about her at all. She's quiet, she doesn't make noise. And because she's quiet and doesn't do it noisily, most people miss it completely. But she's behind, she manipulates situations, she has conversations with you ahead of things. And so I want to know, and I want you guys to know and to hear. You said something about role modeling. Please explain that for me.
So, if you, the mother, you are selfish and you are self-centered, doing things to suit your own interests. But if you sacrifice enough and you concern yourself with the interests of your children, the children may also look up to you. They may know that, hey, this is the way mommy does things, and therefore let me also try it. But if mommy is always buying beautiful shoes, beautiful bags, and maybe struggling to buy a beautiful car at the expense of the children, the children will also say that, oh, all right, why don't I also concern myself with my own interest? And her own interest may not be the best, it may be a disaster. But if you are a good role model, the child will look up to you and somehow fashion his or her life towards the way you have been handling things. And that, in a way, helps the children to grow the way you want them to grow.
Another question here, because it just popped into my head. You had this thing about putting us in the best possible schools. And some of those best possible schools were out of your price range. Why were you doing that? Why?
It was a way of making sure that what my conception that I have for them is achieved. If I send you to wayside school, you may grow up to become a wayside child, and I didn't want that. So even if I couldn't afford it, I had to struggle to make sure that I give you the best. Because I know by giving my children the best.
Thank you. Mechanism.
Remind me of the day I got stranded at Turkey airport.
You have to tell me how you got stranded. Hold on. Before she tells you about her story about being stranded, how do Africans live? How do Africans live? Look, I got myself eventually a cappuccino. You'll be surprised. It's in a mug, like anywhere else. It is hot. It contains all the things that it does contain in all other places. And me and this girl, we are eating this useless little thing. And she's telling me, so now she's remembered something about being stranded in Turkey. I want to know how she got stranded in Turkey. Okay. Man, I took it. Oh, we'll be back in 2 minutes. We'll be back. Bye. All right, guys. So, when did you get stranded in Turkey? What stranded you in Turkey?
I was on my way from Manchester to Ghana.
Okay.
And we made a transit at Turkey.
Okay.
And I had to wait there for 8 hours. And for the 8 hours that I was there, I didn't know what to do with myself. I went roaming around. Then I saw some cafeteria. So I entered. When I entered, what was I to drink? What was I to eat? I looked round. There were lots of pastries and other things. Which of them should I pick? Meanwhile, at that time I was to watch my diet because of the diabetes. So I went around the first time, I didn't pick anything, then I came to sit down. After about an hour, I started feeling hungry. So I went there again. And what should I take? Is it coffee or tea? Coffee, tea. I would have loved if I could get something cocoa-ish. But I couldn't get anything cocoa-ish. So I must take either coffee or tea. Then I told the waiter who came to me. He saw me standing there for a long time. So he came asking me, "Ma'am, what should I give you?" Then I just saw the cappuccino that I just wanted to eat and said, "Bring me a cup of that." Then he went and brought it to me. And that was the last time I took
Cappuccino. This will be 10 years ago.
when
Yeah.
he brought it to me, asked me how many minutes it took me to finish it.
But that's the thing with all of us. Kofi complains all the time. I will buy it, I never finish it. This one though, I will finish. So back to the raising children. the sacrifices that you make to raise the children. Let me go back down. So my mom, for example, I've told you, sent us to schools that she could not really afford. What that meant was that as much as she was a professional and should have been enjoying her salary, there was barely any of the salary left after the school wage, the school bill, and the rest of it.
So she had to venture into bakery.
Into all sorts. But my question is it worth it?
Very much.
What makes it worth it?
Very, very much. If I hadn't done that, would I be sitting here today?
Right. We all know this one. Ask her and see if she still has it, because me 20 and I'm over. And I won't know what it. Okay. All right. Okay. So Weno, you said it's worth it. Let me ask you that question again. Is it worth it to sacrifice all the things you did? I mean, when you were working, you could have lived well. You could have socialized with people. You could have dressed well. You could have enjoyed the proceeds of your earnings. And then you gambled it on the children in the hope that one day the children will come good. But that takes a long time. Isn't it better to enjoy the guarantee right now?
The thing is, it's like somebody who wants to put up a mansion. You want to put up a mansion and enjoy yourself in it in the future. But you just don't get up and start laying blocks. You've got to lay a foundation. The foundation of the building, the mansion I wanted to put up.
Okay. Thank you. So you were building a foundation.
I was building a house, a mansion.
You were building a mansion. Okay. And you needed to invest in the foundation. It's quite philosophical, so unpick it for me.
So gradually, I laid the foundation, and even when it wasn't easy to get the blocks, I had to run scatter harder, make sure I get blocks somehow today to get the mansion. And by God's grace, finally, the mansion is built, and I'm living in it now.
She lives in a hut. Please know this mansion is proverbial. This woman lives in a hut in the corner somewhere. My mother has some really big stories. One of the stories I actually want to talk about is the change in schools that she did for me at some point in my life. As a kid, I thought she had made that change because I was complaining about the school I was at and didn't want to be at, because this other school was supposed to be better. But even as a kid, I knew this other school was way too expensive for us. And so I did not even dare dream. Then the school change came. Later on in life, I came to find out that she had her own reasons for the school change. So I want to ask, let's talk about it. Why did you make the school change?
I made it for two basic reasons.
2 reasons.
Reason number one is that academically, that school was better than where you were. And secondly, the company, the children that you were associating with in that school, I didn't like it. So I had to let you out of the place So these were the two basic reasons that made me to send you to a different school.
So let's unpick it. The school I went to had actually moved just behind us. It was a walking distance from home. The fees were reasonable. They were manageable. She could afford those ones. She made that crazy choice to uplift me from that school to take me across town to a whole different school, which was maybe 3 times the price of the first one, if not more. 3 times at least the price of the first one. This school was across town and so needed school bus to transport us to this other school. And you made those decisions based on social interactions that I was having and for the academics. Please explain the social interactions first. Let's start from that one.
I realized that some of the children in that school did not have aim. And they were doing all sorts of things, which I didn't like. And I didn't want you to become part of that lifestyle. That was the reason why I decided not to let you interact with those people. So let me get her out of the place.
And you know, I've also done the same thing. When the time came for me, I didn't even just change schools. I actually uplifted us and we went to a whole different city. Different city, different place. It was when I was writing my book. These are some of the things that I thought would surprise Asabia when she read the book. You know, when she finished reading the book, she tells me there's no surprise. I knew exactly what you were doing, Mom. I knew exactly what you were doing. Why was it so important, though, to remove me from that company?
As I said earlier on, if I had left you there, you would have danced to the tune that was being played over there.
And eventually, 2 of the characters that she was removing me from, 2 of the characters she was afraid of and was removing me from did exactly what she was afraid would happen. My question is, we were so young at the time. What made you even think that those were the influences in play?
I had been a child before, and I had seen children growing before, and I knew from the way things were that if I hadn't removed you, you would have told that lie. And you being a child, you didn't know what was going on. You felt like, oh, and Fiba was a friend. After all, we live in the same vicinity. So why do you want to take me away? Because you want to take me away from Fiba and other things, other people. But eventually, I'm sure you understood why I had to do that change.
So, let me unpick it a little. Some of you are asking, how do you raise me?
Yes.
Apparently, you raise me by reading situations you do. Me and my friends, we were just being children. But my mom saw some of the behaviors and some of the utterances of some of the children and realized that it was not exactly children being children. It was children beginning to learn habits. It was children beginning to exhibit traits and behaviors and patterns. And she was so clear that that was out of her life plan for me. Enough, and so afraid of that happening that she was prepared to go bankrupt. Because that's essentially what my mom did. Go bankrupt so she can take me out of a social context. And it was effective because the children who were in this new school were a whole different breed of kids. They had a whole different mindset. All the schools I ever attended, funnily enough, were run by European nuns. This second school was also a Catholic school. It was run by nuns. It was run by Western nuns. And they run the school in a particular way, very similar to the secondary school too, that I went to. And the children here were a little bit more affluent because, and that's the thing with affluence, which I did not understand as a child. When my parents would talk about certain things as a kid, I thought it was them being snobby. I thought it was them being superficial. But it turns out that within certain socioeconomic boundaries, certain behaviors are prevalent and others are not. Is that something that was an accidental discovery, or is that something you had factored in? Did you believe that the children in the other school would be very different?
I somehow felt like it. I felt that school being a Catholic school, being a mission school,
Yeah.
would definitely be different from the one you were attending at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So that was part of the decision making.
But it's funny, the children were from the same town. So the children even lived where we lived anyway, and we still went to this school. So what made you think that outcomes would be completely different?
The school atmosphere itself is sufficient to make the difference. But somebody was asking me some time ago, how come I sent you to Holy Spirit but allowed Awo to remain at Rapid? And I explained to that person that when you were at Rapid, you were alone. Daddy wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
But with Awo,
Yeah.
during Awo's time, Daddy was around. And he was even a PTA.
He was military.
He was even a PTA chairman. And therefore, I sense that even though I tried to Holy Spirit for Awo and I didn't get, I wasn't so disappointed because I knew with Daddy's influence at that time, things wouldn't be as bad as it would have been at your time.
Huh. We are throwing some big bangers.
But Awo didn't understand. She doesn't even understand me up to now.
But then again, it's not that you didn't send her to Holy Spirit. I am your witness. We tried. We tried. What else were we to do? We tried.
She thinks because you are my favorite, that's why I took you there.
Nonsense. She is your favorite. You know my mom has favorites, right? I used to be her favorite until she got this little girl. And the minute she got this little girl, she ditched me just like that. Gave her the better genes, gave her the better looks.
Yeah, let's see it.
You did. My sister looks like this woman, it's not even funny. And as for me, she just donated me to the Doma people with my black face. People would ask in family gathering, who is that black one in the middle? Whose kid is this black recalcitrant one in the middle? She's hinting at some things. And so Daddy and his influence, if you want to understand, there is a chapter in my memoir, it's called The Return of the Standard. When I put the book out and you get the book and you read it, you will understand. And I did not speak to my mom before I wrote. Actually, till date, my mom has not even read the full manuscript. That is an assignment for this week before her birthday. But there was a thing. I think all of us knew it. You knew that I was a very impressionable girl. I have a very definitive character. And it needed to be shaped in a particular way, but it needed to be done subtly, because if you do it by force, I will not comply. that's the thing I want to, it's the reading of the child and the personality of the child and how succinct you were in interpreting that I want to. Everybody had an opinion on your kid, but you had a completely different opinion. So let's unpick it.
I think naturally I was endowed with certain things that I wasn't even aware of.
Discernment,
myself.
Absolutely.
I remember Oyi once told me, he said, Sister Amma, you are a philosopher.
It's true though.
I didn't understand you. I used to laugh at him. How can I be a philosopher? And he says there are certain things that you do and things that you say, which are very philosophic. That's why I say you are a philosopher.
It's
so
true.
Maybe that sentiment, that endowment that I had, made me to read into certain situations, to take some of the decisions that I took.
Because your decisions were crazy. Your decisions were crazy, but they were on point. So let me go back again. What was your understanding of your child, my personality, and my needs at that time?
I knew my child was special and she was unique. And she's not somebody that you can corner, pin down in a corner and lord it on her to take a particular line of action, and she would. She is somebody that needed to be molded gradually, and it isn't hey matter that will mold her. And so I needed an atmosphere that will help me to mold her the way she ought to be molded. And this is part of the decision making reasons. I just didn't want to leave you like any other child, because you were not. I realized from the very day you came on the earth that you are special, you are a unique baby. And so I had to do all that I could to realize that uniqueness in you.
Well, you said it was unique. A lot of the people said I was insane. I was crazy.
You were not.
I was rebellious.
You were not at
I
all.
was recalcitrant. I don't think people from that area had ever seen a kid like me before. They said I was disobedient, non-compliant.
Because they didn't understand you.
That is interesting. So what did you understand? I want, like, what did you understand? What did you think you understood?
I'm telling you that there's a feeling that I had, which I even didn't recognize it myself.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, most often, I used to hear the small voice talking to me. And I ignored the voice sometimes. And I realized that anytime I ignored the voice, I paid dearly
For
for
it.
it.
Yeah.
So at some point in time, I started listening to it and trying to obey it. And it is that small voice that helped me to take some of the decisions that I took. Some of the decisions that I took were not manly, not womanly.
Some.
It is that small voice.
All the decisions were not womanly.
It is that small voice that directed me to take certain actions. just ask yourself, who ever directed me to go to Zampansa?
I don't know. I don't know, and that's the thing.
It is that small voice.
It's so many things. I mean, I'm thinking back to the change in social circumstances that you wanted to. The minute I changed schools, the people she did not want me to engage with, it's not me who decided not to be friends again, you know. I still wanted to be friends. I still tried to be friends. I would go to their house and their mother would shoo me. Sometimes you know the kids are in the house and then you'll be told they are not here. And so after a short period of time, those friendships died instantaneously. I'm very sure you were partying. You were happy, huh?
Very happy.
Shame on you.
Very, very happy.
Shame on you for ruining my friendship. I've told you, my mom is a manipulative old hag. She really is. Most people who know her do not know this element about her. They see the quiet, almost non-verbal her watching. I don't think that the master tactician and the manipulative person she really is in the background is known and understood by a lot of people who know her. I want to do this because I actually do want my mom and her story, her inspirational story, to be useful to some of you. Obviously, your children are not going to be like her children. But what she's saying to you is that if you listen, there is a voice in each person's head. And it tells you exactly what you need to do. It does. Nobody's ever thrown to the wolves. It really does. I know the voice she's describing because I hear the voice too. And until I learn to obey the voice, yeah, I have paid some heavy prices also. It's cost me a lot because I have not listened. And over time, I have also learned to listen. And when I listen and I make the moves that it says I should do, it serves me very well. But one of the things I wanted to actually establish is that you cannot raise a child you don't know. You cannot raise a child just the way everybody raises a child. Because the way you raised me is counter what most people believed how a child should be raised, and especially how a girl should be raised. Because that was a conversation people had with you a lot to my hearing. I don't know if you realized I heard a lot of the conversations. So let's go back to those expectations. What was the expectations for raising a girl around here? What were you supposed to do?
Let me start by saying what I didn't want to see.
Okay.
I didn't want to raise a daughter who would just grow up and say, somebody says he will marry me, and therefore I'm going to marry. I've married, and therefore I'm going to stay in the house and be a housewife and be a child maker, making children for him. I wanted somebody who can exert herself, somebody who can be dependent on her own, not to be independent, not to depend on somebody. That is all the things, that is part of the things that I had in mind when looking at you and I won't growing. I just didn't want to raise anybody to say, she has just finished school and she is going to marry and stay in the house. So I am glad the way the two of you have patterned your lives. I am very, very happy. It has helped me to achieve the objectives, some of the objectives that I had.
Some of the objectives. Okay, unpick some of the objectives for us. What were the objectives?
Objective number one, I didn't want a situation where my daughter will marry and then come and tell me tomorrow that he has divorced me. If anything, it is you who should divorce him. Not he divorcing you.
Have you heard the feminist, the closet feminist finally?
I didn't want to hear that.
You did not want your daughters to be divorced?
At all, at all.
If there was going to be a divorce, you wanted them to walk. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay.
And above all, I wanted my in-laws to respect their wives highly. I didn't want them to regard them as any other wife. I wanted my in-laws to regard my daughters very, very highly. Somebody will say, if my wife is, had it not been my wife, I wouldn't have been like this. And that is what I wanted to do. Even though myself, I got married to somebody who was academically very higher than me. I started from the bottom. But it was my intention not ever to tell me to go away. I am fed up with go away. So I had to make all efforts, make a lot of sacrifices to make sure that the desire that I had, to make sure that when I get married, my marriage should succeed. I achieved that. And I'm very sure anybody knowing me would know that if that was my desire, at least I was able to achieve it. And I wanted my daughters also to follow the same suit. They shouldn't go and come, go and pack your things with a lot of children behind you and then come. Mama, we've come over.
What are we going to do?
He says we should go, so I've come with the children. And where will I put them? I don't want such a thing to happen. And God being so good, He has helped me not to fall into that trap. My children, even though I didn't sit them down to talk this to them.
Oh, but what do you mean you didn't sit down to, excuse you?
I didn't sit down to talk
See,
to
this
them.
is the funny thing about you. My dad is the one who did the gospel according to S.A. Manson. This one didn't preach. This one is so manipulative and she is so underhanded in the things she does. There are some conversations. I find myself doing the same thing with my daughter now. Sometimes I confess to my daughter, I chose to drive her to school in her final year myself. And she used to sit in my car listening to my Facebook live feeds. The topics I was selecting were the things I wanted to tell her. Because she, like me, if you tell her what to do, she won't do it. So apparently, I was telling my Facebook people, but it was a message. They were messages I wanted to deliver directly, and this is my mom's style. Sometimes my mom will come up with fables. She will come up with parables. She will make up stories. I knew these stories did not exist. I knew she was trying to pass on a message. Sometimes I found you very funny because I was thinking, whose kid does she think I am? Your brain works the same way my brain works. But yeah, so you did not want girls who were dependent. Why?
Because I had seen and heard of so many instances where people like that flopped in life.
Okay.
And I didn't want such a thing to pass behind my backyard.
And you knew when the mothers flopped, the children did flop. I won't name a particular story, but I heard you talking to somebody specifically. And you were telling that person you do not want people to accuse you of being a witch. Years later, you know who I'm talking about. We will not name the person. I want that conversation discussed. What were you trying to say to her?
I was trying to tell her to be mindful of the children that she has been blessed with. She must forget about all her personal interests and invest in the children. Make sure that children are able to at least find some ground to put their own feet on, so that they won't slip and fall. Because if she doesn't do that, in future, as I am struggling to make sure that my children stand firm on the ground, somebody standing somewhere who does not understand, who does not know the sacrifices I've made, who does not know the way I've molded my children will say, hers are doing so well, and oh, look at her. Hers are also wayward. Is it because she's using her wizard to mold her own against the other person's? And it's something that would have hurt me a lot if I heard somebody saying such a thing, because I am sacrificing. I am doing all that I could to make sure that I mold mine, I guard mine, to put them on the right path. So you must also decide to make some sacrifices, also to, at least, if yours wouldn't even get to my standard, at least they should also get somewhere, so that in future no one can point a finger at me and say that look at the witch and her children. It's something that I didn't want.
Again, it's very important. I think a lot of you would make progress on your own, but a lot of us do not realize the problems that your own success can create for you down the line, right? You were anticipating success and you were preempting how people will respond to that success. And now, because you are a prophetess, you were prophesying what was to come. I hear a lot of people tell me that we were very, what did this person say? Well, you were privileged from the start. I'm like, that's true. But I didn't grow up in privilege. We lost it. And then we restarted. And we have redeemed, recouped, rebuilt. Whatever you see here is product of our own hands. Not from anybody else's intervention. That's incredible though, isn't it, Mama? You have to tell me what's going on in your head. I can read you. There's something going on in your head. I want to know what you're thinking about. I want to know.
I'm just trying to recall some conversations that I had with some people in the past.
Yes.
Particularly the conversation I had with the New Year. He did not understand why I was living the way I was.
Well, I don't think there was one person who was guilty of that. What you were doing did not make sense.
He just did not understand me.
There are many people who just did not understand you. I hope sometimes I wish I could have conversations with some of those people and ask if they now get it. Do they get it now? I've had conversations with some of the people actually about, oh, she's been very blessed. Oh, she's been very lucky. And I say to people, there's no luck. It has nothing to do with luck. Blessings, yes. The Lord, He blesses, He reigns on all soils. But it's not every soil that bears fruit, is it? There has to be grain on the ground before the rain comes, in order for the rain to be useful to any farmer. So you still stand by the fact that it's been worth it? Are you sure?
Very sure.
What makes it worth it?
Very, very sure. Had it not been what God has blessed me with, will I be sitting here today like this?
What do you mean?
If you hadn't come around today, would I be sitting here like this?
But that is just your own pepper because you can come here.
Oh, don't talk about my own pepper.
It is your pepper. You can come here every morning if you wanted to. You won't come.
Don't talk about your own pepper. If you say that, people will be very happy.
That is your own pepper. If you want to come and sit here, you can sit here. He has no idea.
When we are going today, I will leave them with 100 cities. and tell them to manage with it.
You tell you are very prepared.
Till I come back.
You are prepared.
And I'll see how they will manage with the 100 cedis. Right now, there are a lot of things in the fridge. I have sufficient power. I have paid my water bill. I have paid for.
But they really shouldn't need much.
I have paid for my Zoom lion. So they don't need anything. But I'm leaving them with the 100 cedis as a test.
To see how much you will not come and meet a penny.
And the 100 cedis, if I say I'm giving it to Ofia, Kweku will boil. If I'm giving it to Kweku,
so you will split it into two?
No, I will let the two of them be there. And then I'll tell them, say, Kweku na ye be ma Ofia. It's a bit of Shannon, sir. It's a fear, we may be able to support you. Not all for more. But make sure you don't misuse the money till I come back.
Do you guys hear what she's doing? I'm still trying to let you hear her thinking. In the money she wants to leave, she's already playing games. The games this one plays, she will call both of them and she would tell the girl that this is the man of the house, so this is the money in his hand, but she's doing it in her presence. And if you need anything, go and get it. This is what I have grown up watching. This is why I play games too. I learned to play games without even realizing they were games. I thought that is how everybody did things until much later on. Apparently, not everybody is a tactician. So it's been very interesting watching a master tactician play her games and also learn to play some games alongside.
I decided to break the money up into 50s. Give the 250, give the fear 50. But if I do that, I won't come and meet even a person. Everybody what I've given them. And when I come to someone say Asa. But this is I'm giving it to the group and make you responsible. And tell it, yeah, you are the telling office. If anything, go to him and collect and then my sodium, I'm sure they will try to manage.
This is what she's trying to do for accountability, which is very interesting. So I wanted to bless you with her because she has such incredible ideas. Sometimes I'll do things for my kids and people are like, where the hell did you learn that from? I'm like, that's how I was raised. As for me, I haven't invented anything new. I am merely mimicking what I observed. I am trying to reapply a blueprint that has proven itself to work. That's all I'm doing. I'm just reliving what I experienced. And I don't want experiences like this to remain for just myself and my sister and those who were blessed enough to encounter her. I want checkpoints. Which checkpoint? There's a checkpoint kiosk somewhere. It's on CNN. Anyway, my mom is an ideas machine. My mom is a tactical brain. My mom is the queen of manipulative games. She really is. And I wanted you guys, well, I still do want you guys to get to know my mom. My mom and I will be sitting and talking a lot in the next few days because we can and we would. It's her birthday on Wednesday, and this is one of the things that I want you to do. My mom said she was prophesied a child that was influential. Well, I do want to test that theory. I want my mom's birthday this year to be one that has my influence written all over it. but I don't want it to be my direct interventions. I want to test to see if I have actually become influential. So I have a few theories up my sleeve. I will share some of those things, but on Wednesday next week, I want my mom to wake up and know a fulfillment of her prophecy. It was prophesied unto her that she will have a child, and that child will be influential, and that child will change games, and that child will change. I have not been this interested in testing to see if that theory holds any water. We're going to test it, and I'll tell you some of my ideas. I want you guys to help me out to let my mom experience some influence that comes as a result of me. And I think you've had a little bit of it when people from Facebook meet her and they jump in all over her. How has that been actually? We've not talked about that, but how has that been, meeting people who know me from here and how they react? You have to think about it. Bah. Explain it.
I'm still thinking.
Okay, whilst you're thinking about that, let's pack that and go to the other side. So, when you had this prophecy of yours, what did you think the prophecy meant?
It held a lot of water. And for many generations, I have been thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what is the meaning of this? What is the real import of this?
Mm-hmm.
And
Do you want to tell us what the prophecy itself was, and then we can?
No.
Okay, fine.
And most especially when you made your first trip to
Mm-hmm.
and came back, I said to myself, hey, this my daughter is really beginning to show wonders. She went to UK on her own and came out. Hey. Then you told me again that you are about to go again. And I was wondering, then who is sponsoring this trip? Who is sponsoring my daughter? At first, I had a faint idea.
But then you didn't also know. You know what?
Then I said, I think maybe Felicia is involved. I sat and thought of it. I said, Felicia.
Well, don't name anybody's names, but you know, I know. So, those were the early signs. Did you ever also get to, for me personally though, for me, I saw very early signs that I was delivering on these prophecies, and then somewhere in the middle, I didn't see enough signs. And so I began to wonder, did I imagine the first bit? Has it lost its way? Did you ever have those thoughts?
I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't. All that I was hoping for is that whatever it is, your path should be directed in such a way that you will never go wayward. That was my prayer all the time. Lord, please help and guide this child of yours. Don't ever let her get lost in this big wilderness. It has always been my prayer. Now, if I should confess, the time that you told me that you were having problems with Kofi, I wept.
You weep.
I wept. So I'm sure, is she?
Of course she will not. Of course she will not. Of course she's not diabetic.
Please bring her the straight path for me.
Your straight path is an interesting thing because, I'm also processing in real time. It's been a long journey, hasn't it? It's been a long journey. Yeah, for me personally, this prophecy of this and the things that I was supposed to be delivering. In the middle of life, whilst you are in the middle trying to raise a family and to start a career and to push this and to go here, and things are not necessarily moving the way they were supposed to go. There was a time I was in the mid, I think it was a lunch break. The day I turned 30, I went to school. Everybody in the school was making such a big deal of my birthday and whatnot. But during lunchtime, when everybody had finished faffing and I had a few minutes to myself, I sat there thinking, is this it? This is not what the prophecy says I will be doing. This is not what was prophesied onto my life at all. For most other people, that should have been enough. My friend was telling me, whilst they were celebrating with me, this is it. This is a great life. Oh my God. But everybody loves you. People respect you. Some of the parents came. Look at the children. Look at the staff. To her, that was supposed to be it. To me, that was nowhere near it. And so I started crying. I cried my eyes out that day. I cried and went home and continued to cry. I cried and I could not be consoled. And I could not even explain to my husband what had upset me. I could not. So I think after the lunch, he got talking to me and he heard me crying. So when I came out of school, he had come to drop flowers in my car. He had filled my car with flowers and a balloon and foolish things that should make me laugh. But I still cried. I cried, sat somewhere, cried before I went to pick the kids. And when I came, distracted the kids and continued to cry. The reason why I was crying was because what I was seeing seemed to be at the ceiling of the circumstances I was living. But that thing was a short change of what it is that I had been told all my life was supposed to happen. And at that time, I was upset because I could not see where else would I be taking life? What else would I be doing? I had hit the ceiling of this particular pathway and I did not know where else that needed to go. Did you ever hit that? Did that ever hit you at any stage? It did. When? And how?
When I completed my IM, I didn't know what to do with myself. At least by the structure of education system in Ghana, going through my life, hatred.
You had hit the top.
Yes, hit the top, but
it was not enough.
I wasn't satisfied. I wanted to do something else. What else can I do?
That's the worst feeling in this life.
What else can I do? So when I came to the technical school to start, then through conversation, I got to know that I was employed as a people teacher. And therefore I need to get
the teaching license.
Yes. And where will I get it? So I had information that I will have to go to Kumasi Technical Teachers College to read education in order to get a certificate. And that is why I started leaving you behind and going to Kumasi. And eventually when I had that one, I realized that still there's a vacuum. I've got a certificate, all right. But then, what do I do next? Then an idea hit me. There were some two home science teachers at SUSEC who were friends of us at the department. Then one said she was going to Pecos. She was also a diplomat. She was going to Pecos to do a degree. I said, if I tried, would I also be able to go and do a degree? But then looking at my certificate, it wasn't strong enough. I didn't have A level. The O level wasn't also so strong. So what do I do? Okay, since I can't go straight now, let me start to better my certificate. So I started gradually.
That is another point I need to jump in. Did you guys know I taught my mom math? We have crazy stories though. We do have crazy stories. I taught my mom math. My mom claimed that she did not understand math. She can do any subject, not math. But I taught my mom math and she got her math certificate too. But again, this is very important because these are things that people don't talk about. When you feel stuck in life, it is a horrible feeling. Those who don't have that internal feeling of you were made for more and you are supposed to do more, I don't think you suffer as much as those of us who are supposed to do more. And then you find yourself in a place where you are not doing more. And especially if there is a glass ceiling above you and you've hit the top of a pathway and you don't know where else you can go. Obviously, well, now in hindsight for both of us, the path is to sidestep from where you are stuck to look for other avenues and for you to take those other avenues to do other things. For me, one of the things that I needed to do in order for a significant element of that prophecy to fulfill itself was coming to social media, actually. This was it, because the prophecy said that I would talk to millions, that I would influence large multitudes, that I would impact. When I went to teaching, I thought that was it. I really did. That's why I went into teaching. I felt that the number of students will pass through my classrooms, and then after years, like my mom, your students will come with their testimonies. But then I realized that day, how many years ago, the day I turned 30, that day I knew that the teaching career was not it. The teaching career was not a fulfillment of the prophecy. And so I was back to square one. I was adrift. I did not know where I was going to. There was a time, maybe 5 years ago or so, somebody invited me to an event. The person invited me and said, come. Oh, yeah, you would speak at my event. So I'm like, okay, I'll come and speak at your event. I gathered my husband, my poor husband, and my 2 children. And they took me to this event. I had not understood what was happening.
What were you going to speak about?
Okay, I had already decided that this person works with empowerment and, uplifting yourself from circumstances, which is a story we know very well, and I can preach any day. When we arrived at the place, so she was like, are you arriving? And I'm like, hey, okay, this is quite important to her. Oh, okay. Did it click? No, it did not. When I finally arrived, the drums, and my mom knows my relationship with the drums because she is the one who started this relationship between me and the drums. I have more things to tell you about my mom. She sent me to go and learn how to play the drums professionally. Why she did some of those things, we are going to unpick. Most people say that I'm multi-talented. I tell people I'm not multi-talented. I'm multi-trained. I am multi-skilled. There has been multiple investments in capacities. They are not talents. They are developed abilities. Anyway, we got there, the drums started, and because I had that relationship with the drums, I was so happy when I heard the drums. I started dancing. So then the girls who were dancing to the drums came around me and they were dancing with me still in my brain. It's because I started dancing, they had come to dance with me. And then in the middle of it, I realized that as they were dancing, they were shooing me along. Everybody else in the place had stopped what they were doing and they were watching me and the dancers. In the middle of this thing, I suddenly clicked. My husband and the children had been directed somewhere else to sit. And I was the only one who was actually with this group and we were dancing. Then we got to the table and I discovered I was actually the person's guest of honor.
And the guest of honor was the one dancing.
So they had been waiting for me. That particular thing, and the person who even organized this thing has never heard this story from me because I've not told her. But then in the middle of it, there was a celebrity actress, there were a few chiefs, it was a big event. And me, I was the guest of honor at this event. The chief, the queen mother, and all these people were sat around me. That was the day I felt that the prophecy and the things that people had been describing all those years ago was finally on course. Finally on course. So that was my interpretation of what people used to say about me as a kid. What was your interpretation of what people used to say? What did you think I should become?
Now that you are asking, I don't think I had any specific goal set for me. All that I wish for is to make sure that at least you climb to a place where I can lift my head and look at you, not where I should look at you from under my feet. So I don't have a specific objective. Just make sure that
some of those things make sense. Okay, the drums. What were you thinking? Why did you send me to learn how to play the drums?
Well, I told you that the voice spoke most of the time.
Yes.
But most often I didn't also understand the voice.
Yeah.
And on a few occasions I ignored the voice. And whenever I ignored the voice, I had to pay dearly for it. So at some point I decided that what the voice said to me, I must make sure that at least I obey it, I follow it. So I was directed to do that.
To send a girl to learn how to play drums. And then Staffordshire happened. And then I was on the drums. And people were like, how on earth do you know how to play the drums so well? It had been planned all along. It was well orchestrated. You remember the calabash thing? Again, that's one too. And people are like, how come a girl knows how to play the drums? How come a girl can do this? But how is a girl able to be so academic also at the same time? Debating club, at this, at that, junior achievement. Oh my God. Most of those things were crafted by her. And now she's telling me that she herself did not know what she was doing.
She was only an instrument.
She was just being obedient to an internal direction.
Who followed the direction? The direction also guided you to what you must do.
The direction has set everything up in a crazy way. Anytime I start doing anything as a cultural ambassador, I do so now with in-depth knowledge, years of personal experience. It's not something I've read from a book. today.
Okay.
The drums and what they represent were taught to me years ago by people who did not even know that I would ever use that information. I teach culture now to people, and people are like, how do you know that? You are way too young for that. The dimensions to the it's incredible. But what my mom is saying to you is that there is an internal factor that tells you what to do. She calls it the voice. I know what she means. Do you guys also have the voice in your head? Do you stop? Everybody has it. You've got to be quiet enough to hear it.
Voice comes to everybody.
Yeah.
Some people block the voice.
Yeah.
Make it audible.
Mm-hmm.
But if you allow yourself, you will hear the voice always. And when you hear the voice, the important thing is that you must pay attention to whatever the voice says. If you pay attention to whatever the voice says, it gives you the direction that you must follow. And if you follow something, you cannot go and hate the world. Never. Follow the direction. The direction will take you safely to where it wants you to go. Something that most of us refuse to obtain. On the voice now. So what? What's the voice aside?
Yeah, because some of the things that this voice asks you to do is crazy. Let your daughter learn how to play drums. Eh? You have to remember, there was a notion here that girls in the arts were wayward. It was a notion around here. Girls in the arts were wayward. And I was a very academic girl anyway. And so most people will not expect you to have any involvement with the arts. You are supposed to be academic and to do the academic program. I was capable of doing it. I was doing it. So why? What was it with drums? Now we understand the significance. But at the time, I'm sure people asked you about it, right? Or did nobody ask you?
No.
And nobody asked you about that one?
If they did, I can't remember.
At some point, she used to send anybody who made any meal, traditional meal that was of any interest, to come home to teach me how to do it. The Yaka Yaka girl came to teach me Yaka Yaka. Tubani came. People come to my house. The soya drink girl. People came to the house to come teach me how to cook their traditional meals and then cook it traditionally, authentically. It was not westernized chefs who were teaching me. It was actually local people. That was also of interest. That's become of interest to me now. Why? Because I was not a caterer. You knew I was never going to do catering.
I believe that knowing how to prepare different dishes is fulfilling. If you only knew how to prepare fufu and abempai, what is that? If somebody is talking about tubani, at least you know tubani, you know how to prepare it, you know how it tastes like. So if you find yourself in a company where people are talking about different dishes, you can also say something that you know how to, something that you have appreciated before. But if you haven't appreciated it and somebody is talking about it, you will not know what it is to be able to even contribute, let alone to convince people. But now that you have all those skills at your disposal, whenever you meet people and they are talking about dishes of their land, I'm very sure you can say so many things about Ghana, very important things about Ghana, things that will convince people, things that will make people know that truly you are a Ghanaian, not that you are a westernized person. And this is why the boys told me to make sure that I gave you that training.
Oh, the boys knew that I was actually going to leave.
Yes.
I was going to go to places and I was going to find myself my people's mouthpiece.
The boys really knew.
And I couldn't be an ignorant mouthpiece, could I?
Before you were formed in my group, the boys knew you.
There you go.
The boys knew you. You knew what you are created for, what you are going to do, and what you must do. The part was already created for you.
So my mother was busy building. So when I do tours and I explain, when I take people to places and I tour guide, people are like, but you have such an in-depth knowledge of such places. I'm like, well, ask my mom. Ask my mom. My dad was about tourism and to specific places, but not the same. He didn't do tourism in the same way. The depth of the knowledge, the depth of the local knowledge, of the information that I have of places, the experiences that I have of that is my mom. That is my mom. And she's confessing right now that she was only obeying prompts. There wasn't really an internal program she had. It was not something strategic she had orchestrated. They were just promptings that she was honoring. I think that's enough for one feed, right? We will be doing more of these as we go along. The place has now started, they've got music. So I will take this video and I will clip them. I will clip because I have caught some incredible pieces. I don't know if you yourself picked up the significance of some of the things that you were saying. I have got some incredible pieces. I will clip those things and I will put them across the platforms for those of you who have been asking. I want to document my mother, but unlike my dad, I don't want to document my mother in a memoir. I want to document my mother in her life form. From her mouth to your ears. That's how I want to document my mother. And that's why when I'm here, I always sit with my mom and I always catch snippets because I want my mom on record for herself. I don't want to sit here in one studio and have one conversation because there's not one single conversation that can capture my mom. My mom is so in-depth, it's crazy. I don't think even what I'm doing will be adequate enough. But so far, it's the best I have available to me to capture her in her simplicity. She sits there innocently, but the punches this one throws. The punches this one throws. Yeah, she throws some heavy punches. I'm hoping to share with you some of her heavy punches. Her relationship with my dad is a whole documentary. I want to know how this little mousy one met my dad and what made her even think that she could even tangle with that guy. Like I will see my dad and I'll run. He is my dad, but there is no way I will want to date my dad and be around. I don't feel capable of dealing with S.A. Manson, and I cannot. And I'm his daughter speaking. I don't think why my mousy mother thought that she that is a story for another day. But now that it has come up, let me just ask you quickly before we go. What made you think say Martin was one you could tango with? It was strange. Okay.
So by 10 p.m., I was at the bus stop. Meanwhile, that day, before I went to work, I went to buy a Paris dish. So it was in a box. And I was carrying this box with me at the bus stop. With my bag on my shoulder, waiting for a bus. The last minute bus comes from Lagos around that time to town. So usually I time the bus and they go before it. And when I get to town, I get dropped onto so I was waiting for the bus. But sometimes the bus mistakenly passes the crossing. So at times I'll be there and wait and the bus will come. So this particular day, I was standing there waiting and praying. Here, let the bus come, please. If the bus doesn't come, I don't know what to do. Then it means I'll have to take trouble and pass through that before I go to the But if I get the bus will take me to the bus station and I'll get another bus going to Life. And when I got that major bus, it will drop me at the junction. So once I was waiting for this bus, I saw the BMW passing towards the door.
Okay.
I saw it going, but I didn't pay any attention to it. I was there for about 30 to 45 minutes. Then the car came again, and I was still there. So I stopped at the bus stop. And that's not going to come. Meanwhile, in those days, there was a rumor around town that there's some monster in town who will lure girls to his place and then force them to sleep with his dogs. So when he stopped and begging me, this idea flashed through my mind. And I hesitated. But I could see he was so begging. So finally I gathered courage and went to him. And when I got there, he greeted me with true. And I also responded.
Beautiful girl, where are you going and why are you here at this time?
So I said, I must go to work and I just go, so I'm waiting for a bus to be on my way to work. Where do you live? I said I live at Oboko. For which part? And by mentioning Buzia, I said I live the Buzia Express. By mentioning Buzia, he got it. I said, oh, it's Buzia area. I said yes. Then hoping let me take you. I said, is this a monster? Is this a monster? Then he said, oh, so now I'll drop you. I know the place. I'll drop you at Buzia's place. So I hopped you. And when I hopped you, we drove straight to Buzia's junction. Then I said, when we got there, he said, where do I pass? So I directed him. He directly took me to Mr. Bruce's house. I got down, and then I waited till he checked, and I moved the back by and went. So I went thinking that was the end. About 2 or 3 days later, I was at work when a waiter came calling me that Dr. Manson wants to see me. I said, who is Dr. Manson? Meanwhile, that day I didn't even ask of his name. I said, who is Dr. Manson? Then he said, oh, the former MP of Doma. He said, he described you and said I should call him. that he saw you entering this place in the morning, so he knows you are here, you are on duty.
So he was monitoring to know when you were on duty.
So I removed my apron and then came to the terrace. When I came, lo and behold, he was sick. So he said, I wanted to be sure that this is where you work. I said, yes, I told you I was at this place. But how did you know I was on duty this morning? Because the last time I was on actual duty,
Yeah.
close to the night. So how do you know I was on duty this morning? And he said he was passing when he saw me enter. So he knew I was coming to work. So he knew I would be on duty. And I told him that we are not allowed to be chatting with clients twice on duty. If I'm saying I'll be punished. So if you will excuse me, I want to wrap up. He asked when we were close. I told him when I was close. And he said, when I close, you do it. So I went inside to do my work. When I closed, I thought I was close at 2. So at 2 when I closed, I got there and I saw his car parked, but he wasn't there, so I wanted to sneak away.
You wanted to sneak away.
I wanted to sneak away. So I held my back tightly and I was about to run. He said, hey, hello, you are home. I'm just here. Wait, I'm coming. So I went and he picked. And on the way, we had a lot of conversation. Then he took me to his house. And as we were going, my heart was...
The monster was taking you to his house.
Can I find some excuse to have a Then when we got to the gate, he gave me some Papa, and then the car was open.
And this was a whole new experience for you.
Unfortunately, when we entered the house, I could see that he wasn't leaving alone for him to be the monster. There were boys and girls in the house, even some grown-up women.
There were about 17 of them in his house at that time. Get my book, you will understand who these people were and what he was doing with them.
These people were people whom he was having to go away.
This is what I mean. It is in my book. You will understand who these people were, what he was doing at that time, and he was shipping people out like sardines.
So he took me to his living room and then asked, what will I drink? And I said, pour me. I don't drink anything. Pass the water. Then he said today we drink beer.
Eh?
And who was I to say I would drink? So I sat up quietly, then he called the boys to drink beer. From the fridge, he brought the beer. He opened it and poured. As he was pouring, I was holding my glass like this. And yet, so he poured the letter into it. And then he poured the cheers. And then I started sipping it. When I sipped it, I would make a switch. I was making faces as I was sipping. Then he said, don't you drink that all? But my father used to just club beer. So I know it. I've tasted it before, but I don't drink it. So that day I drank about a quarter size of the glass. And the fish is what and then my face. brought me in the house again and then out we went. And once we were going, then he asked me of my name.
So in all this time, he didn't even know your name.
And he asked me of my name and I told him my name. What name I'm from. And I said I was from Yoruba. You don't look like you don't look like an little girl. The matter is to be honest. Even though I am from Yoruba, my father is from Yoruba. My mother is from Yoruba. So he said, from me? I said, yes. Then he said that I'm also a WA champion. I am from Kobani. Not in Kobani, I'm from Amos. I said, I don't know anywhere around that area. I was a little girl when I was sent down. So I was living in Southbound, Commander, Uniba, and Accra. So I know that is where my mother is, but I don't know where I said. So he said, one day I'll take you there. So that's the end of the conversation. I went to the White House. Then, at another day, we came to the hotel.
I should have asked him what made him come. This is the thing I've never asked. I never asked my dad. I know my mom's side of the story, but for some reason, I am so annoyed with myself. I never asked him what made him come. Because my dad also doesn't do things haphazardly, by the way. He was a very calculated man.
So this is when he came. He took me home to his house. And I said, hey, my people at Singapore will also be waiting for me. Because I have promised that when I'm coming from I'll have to have a society. So please, when I sent at the bus stop, when he picked me the last time, I'll get the bus stop to take me straight to Accra. And then I'll do some shopping quickly over there and then get to it. So he agreed. And then I went to do my shopping and go to him. After 2 weeks or so, he came and said, oh, he's sorry, he hasn't called for so many days. He had to travel. And I asked when he called me. He said he went home. Meaning he went to Amos. So I said, okay. Then he chatted, and then he gave me his telephone number. He asked if I had access to telephone, and I said, oh, he said, who has a telephone in the house? So I can call. So he gave me his number and let's try to call. So from time to time he will call. At times I will call. And once when he called, she will pick the call. And then she came telling me that somebody wants to talk to me on the phone. Who is this? I went and told him. Because I'm on the same.
But you said the bearded man. I've got pictures. I found their albums this morning, so I will share pictures with you, okay?
And he told me that he's done with malaria. I said, oh. Then I went to he said, my house is full of mosquitoes. And I can't even get mosquito spray right away. So I said, at least I know some shop where I can get some money. So when I'm going to work, I'll pass and buy something. So I'll buy something there, shop, and what the mosquito spray and oil.
This is a poor girl who has been sent to go and make money in some corner restaurant. No, actually, it wasn't a corner restaurant. It was one of the most prestigious hotels around. But who has met this superstar out of her league superstar, and you are the one offering to buy mosquito spray?
I bought him mosquito spray and oil. was some beautiful soup too. So I bought 2 pigs of the soup in addition to the mosquito thing. And then I took them along to him. And when I took them to him, it was so big.
But I was going to say to you that he has actually told me about.
Hey.
Not many people, he's like me, not many people give him gifts. Most people just want to take from him. And so the fact that you had bought and he knew your salary was nothing. This girl does not even earn enough to keep the roof over her own head. I think that's one of the things he found absolutely fascinating, because most of the people he met wanted to take something from him. He was the one who was doing all these larger than life things for people. He was the giver. And then this mousy girl with no money. Yeah, he had not received presents from many people.
Chili, pepper, and other carefully selected ingredients to give great taste and rich flavor to all your dishes.
Your money is gone. Why? I said, I was a little girl when my father brought me down here. Now, fortunately for me, my father has died and left me here. But he left me in the hospital for reception. He had lost his father with me. So that is where I am. So I asked if I can take him and introduce him to my people. So he said, oh, why not? Let's go. So once I got him in the house and then I took him inside. He said, and when they went to her, I said, hey, Yama.
About you say?
Hey, Yama, you're not afraid. How do you mean this about yourself?
Oh, my arms ache. Look, we will do this story properly, okay? I want to catch this properly. This song is getting in my way. I will catch tomorrow when we are in my house and there is not a lot of noise. We will sit and she will tell you how she met my dad. Everybody who saw this tiny girl with my dad was wondering, isn't this little girl afraid? Eh? Me, if I met a guy who lived the way my dad lived, I wouldn't even speak to you. A guy who changes cars on a daily basis and is living this flamboyant life. Actually, a Dr. Yu is somebody I wouldn't even want to speak to under those circumstances. But that's my mother. When you see her, you think this one is an easy cake. No, she's not. Her sister and her husband were both scared of this guy. But this one, she's the one buying mosquito spray. A mosquito. Those of you who know me and wonder where my audacity comes from. Just yesterday, somebody was telling me something I did as a kid. And the person was telling me it's like in our entire lives, they have never seen anybody who would turn up and do what I just did with a straight face. With, if it was time for you to meet me, it was time for you to meet me. If it was time for me to, yeah, audacity. Audacity doesn't actually come from my dad. Audacity comes from this one. It will surprise so many of you who know her. Hey! Eh. Are you not afraid of this one? I promise we will do this properly, okay? But for now, my date and I have had a great morning. I hope those of you who've popped on have also enjoyed. Yeah. Do you want my help or do you want to go find your own way? Okay. I hope you have enjoyed my mother. As I say all the time, as for me, I am documenting my mother. I want my mother on record. And I want my mother on record for herself. I don't want anybody telling you my mother's story. I want my mother to tell you her story. I want you to hear my mother. I want you to see my mother. I want you to understand my mother. And so I am on that assignment. I'm taking her with me for the next week, she will be with me and we will be on all the feeds together, all the crazy things that I want to do. But here is what I want to do. My mother says that I am supposed to be influential. I try my very best to be influential, but my influence is actually limited. I do want this birthday of my mother to be one where she actually experiences my influence. Can you guys hold on 1 minute? I don't want to answer this one for her. So, what I have decided is I would like a lot of you, those of you who are able to make phone calls to my mom on her birthday, I want you to call my mother, because I have asked you to call her and wish her happy birthday. Okay? Those of you who can send my mother presents, I want you to send her presents for me. I want this birthday to be one my mother experiences based on my influence and not on my direct interventions. Okay? I want my mom to see the fruits of the relationships that I have built over the last few years. Because the prophecy she refuses to tell you is this: that she will have a child, that her child will grow to be very influential, and she will witness the influence, and she will be blown away by the influence. And so that's one of the things I want to try and do this week. I've done quite a few things over the years, but I would like her to see the extent to which this relationship has actually developed. So I will give you a telephone number. I would like you to call my mother on Wednesday and wish her a happy birthday for me. I would like those of you who are able to, I need to figure out what the local radio stations are. Those of you who are on radio stations around, I would like you to do that for me. Those of you who are on TV stations, I'd like you to do that for me. I'll be in touch with some of you personally. And I want my mother on this birthday to actually experience the prophecy that she was given all those years again. And it will help me also feel a fulfillment of that which has been forecast for me for years. Yes, and those of you who can send my mother Momo, please send her plenty of Momo. I want my mom to look at her bank account and cry. That's what I want to do. That's the present I want to give to my mother. I want my mother to experience my influence, so I do need all of you to come to my aid to help me make this one very special for my mother. Okay, she's coming. So let me wrap this one up. I'll see you guys later.